Hi, and welcome back to In My Hometown with Jamie Stein, where we get into the business of our neighbors.
Hey there, and welcome back. We are to our special edition of In My Hometown, where Pascal and I are breaking down everything Golden Bachelor and more. And we've been having such a fun time doing this, right? I've been having a fun time. How about
I'm
you?
having a great time. I'm having a great time, yeah.
This is our third episode. And today we're just going to talk, the two of us, and we've got some good things planned for the next couple of weeks. We think there's four more after this week of the
I believe so. It seems like the season's going very fast. So I think it might be 3 or 4 more episodes.
Okay. But we've got, you and I have been talking, and we've got a lot of good stuff planned. Some more of your friends to come by that give us the insight. And then I think we've been talking a lot about some of the other aspects of the Golden Bachelor and just maybe dating in general in this golden era that you're in and that others are in. And so we're going to have a lot of fun. So let's get to last night's episode. And as you said, it is very rushed, but I would call last night, my big hot take is potentially lackluster. I don't know what your hot take is, but we had the one-on-one date with Peg that started the episode. Then it went to the mansion for a little bit. Then it was the group date. And then there was a tailgate at the mansion, and then the rose ceremony. So let's start with you're like, yes, that's the story.
To be quite honest with you, I felt like it was more commercial than contents.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the first date was Peg, which I think I told you before. I like her. I think I like her personality. She's got a lot of energy. And so they went in an amusement park together. And to be quite honest with you, I think Peg made that one-on-one date. She was ongoing, smiley energy. I personally think that she's got way, way, way too much energy for Mel. Mm-hmm. Mel is just I don't want to bash him because I don't know him, but he's an old man. He act like an old man. He move like an old man, and Deb is dancing and moving and everything. Yeah. So I just think that Deb's got way too much energy for Mel.
Yeah, they all do. I mean, so Peg had that. It was Peg that he took to the OC fair.
Yes.
And
yes.
so they played some games. I thought they had a good connection at the bench when they were sitting there having their beer, and there was some back and forth about questions, and they were listening to each other, right? But Mel didn't open up at all.
You know what? The 10. In the previous episode, we asked Mel, "You've been divorced?" He said, "Yeah, my wife one day wake up and give me the paper, and I didn't fight it." But I would have loved to go more in detail. Why did he get divorced? Why did she file the paper? Was he? I want to know. I'm curious. I just don't want to hear a guy say, "She served me the paper, I didn't fight it, and I get divorced."
Yeah.
No, I would have go in detail because I want to know exactly what type of person he is. Why that woman all of a sudden said after 20 years I want a divorce. So I think by him explaining to us, I think I will make my judgment about if he's the flag there. You know what I mean?
Yes. He just doesn't seem to be giving us anything more. I mean, maybe we always say, is there something else that's happening that we're not seeing? But from what we're seeing, he is not opening up. And so I don't even understand what the women are sort of seeing in him.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, I just think that he's a vanilla. He's not, he's just a plain dude,
Yeah.
And, I just want to see more about him, about who he is as a person. I know he's a football player, but we're talking he was a football player 35 years ago when there was no cable, there was no internet. So, the glory of football is today. It's
funny you say that because I was watching with my husband and Steve, and I said maybe we should play a drinking game every time he says when I was with the Rams.
Yeah, when I was at the Rams. I mean, that was 35 years ago he was at the Rams.
It is impressive, but still.
That's 35 years ago.
Yeah.
I think to me, I was a great tennis player 25 years ago. Yes, I was a very competitive tennis player, but I'm not going to say...
Yeah. I would have been drunk if I was playing a drinking game. I would have been drunk if I was playing a drinking game. So what did you think of Casey and the Sunshine Band?
I love Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Okay.
I do like that. That's our era. I love the song.
Spot.
Yeah. I think it's. Okay. I would have loved to attend that concert. Actually, I think they're a lot of fun. It reminded me a little bit my childhood. They play the whole songs and stuff like that. And again, when you see them, she was dancing, she was moving, and he was just standing behind. You know, I mean, I would have grabbed her, danced her, be on the stage with her. I don't know. I would have been more excited to be there. He
did dip her at the end. I was actually impressed with his dip, and then he kissed her. So that was probably the best part of that for me, was that last moment when he dipped her and he didn't, you know, he seemed very strong. His arm seemed very strong. So then back at the mansion.
Yeah, back at the mansion.
They flip to the lady sitting around the kitchen table and Nicole.
I told you from the beginning, Nicole is not there for Mel. Nicole is there to eventually be an influencer. Right. She's very aggressive. She's got a strong personality. I think she'll drive Mel crazy personally. You know what I mean? And again, she said that she wants to do something way behind that show, and she wants to be an influencer. And that's the reason why she's there. So to me, I would have already cut it off. Actually, later on, we'll talk about it, what happened with somebody came up and start talking to him about some people are there for the wrong reason. You remember? But we go that to the
So let me ask you, though. I get a vibe from Nicole that she is playing a part, that she is creating some of what she's doing, and that it's for TV. A couple times she said, "Oh, this would make great TV." And
I mean, remember, she wants. I think she wants to be an influencer.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, she said that 2-3 times already. So I think to me, it is very important for her to be able to create a character about her.
Yeah.
To be able to have that following and being able to create that influenceable following. I think that's what she's there for. You know.
Like, do you think she knew? Do you think that she forgot that there were cameras at the mansion?
No, she knows where everything is. She knows. I mean,
so
look, she knows where everything is.
So too.
I think she's.
We got you, Nicole.
We got you. I personally will let her go. You know, I mean, it's.
But you knew he wasn't. You just knew it. Well, we're going
to
get to that.
Because I think she's got a good, strong personality compared to some of them. But it's to be seen in the next episode.
Yes,
to be
but I was not for one surprised that he kept her.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we moved to the group date, and this was a photo shoot on the beach with People magazine. And my favorite part is when they say, age, it's just a number. And
but I mean, that's what they're going to try to do now because of the comment Mel said. You know, in a lot of seasons, they never talk about age. They never talk about. I think Mel make a big mistake in this beginning, and he's trying to recap that age is a number. But you know, I mean, I think the photo shoot in the beach. I believe Deb. Which one was the
wedding dress?
The wedding dress.
Debbie.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's so cliche.
I know. I felt
so
that.
Cliche to me. Then Debbie got the wedding dress, who's never been married, and you know, I mean, it's. I don't know. I think it's.
I think you're spot on. Something is up. I think the producers are they're really leaning into her, you know, never wore a wedding dress, and they're sort of doing her a little bit dirty, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I think putting the wedding dress on her, knowing she's never been married, and putting the picture, I think it's like a little bit of I don't know, I just didn't feel comfortable with that personally.
I hear you on
you know?
I hear you on. And then we had the other gals, so we had... there was the pinup girls, which was Robyn and Roxanne, and they were doing a double shoot. And then you had Nicole, Cindy, and...
like Baywatch.
Yes,
I mean,
right.
I'm going to tell you one thing. Mel, keep your shirt on.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, you don't have
he
that
is in good shape.
Keep her on. I think in our age, we don't do that. We don't expose our bodies. And, you know, I mean, he's in a good shape, but I mean... Keep your shirt on, you know, and try to do the Baywatch kind of thing and put the girls in orange bathing suit and sitting in the chair like...
He did keep his shoes on. He has his shoes on.
I mean, he's always keeping his shoes on. Okay,
so now you're saying to keep your shirt on.
Keep your shirt on,
But there was a lot of kissing during all of the photo taking. And I saw a lot of connection. And again, I feel like I turned to my husband and said, that there's a lot going on with Cindy and Mel, and that's who the photographer thought that there was the most chemistry.
Cindy and Mel is...
She's the one with, I keep describing her as the one with the blue eyes, but she is also a retired biomedical engineer. I guess, I don't know, I read somewhere that she dated Chuck Norris. I don't know. So anyway, they had the most chemistry, and then they got to go and do another photo, and they were rolling around.
Yes, so I thought the rolling around was very interesting. There is a movie in 1953 with Burt Lancaster.
Yes.
And I think Rachel...
Novak.
Kurt. I think that I wrote a note on it that Deborah Kurt, in 1953, and the movie was, I believe, Here to Eternity.
Yes.
Okay, where they walk in the beach and they go lying in the beach. It was a very sexy. At the time, that was breaking the box, okay?
Yes.
And try to reproduce that with Mel. It was like a comedy to me.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's we don't do that in our age. I mean, you know, I just think then, you know, they're trying too hard to make him look like he's cool and suave, and he's a very conservative kind of guy. You know, that's my point of view.
Right.
You know,
I wasn't sure if it was on a slow motion, because when they were rolling over, it was like really slow in the rollover. So I didn't know if it was slow motion or he just couldn't get over.
He had a tough time to roll over.
Right, but I thought it was.
But that was to me, fun. I found that scene corny. Okay. But again, that's
I thought the whole beach photo shoot activity was interesting.
I mean, they
can't they come up with some better activities for them?
I don't know. I think I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then, I don't know. I just think then that beach rolling with her on the beach and and all the kissing and kissing. Yeah. I don't kiss like that. I'm pretty reserved. I need to know the person before I get physically involved.
Well, I think they're trying, to me, it comes off as really trying to create this connection or chemistry or to force that. And so that's what seems like a lot of the women were doing. So after the photo shoot, they move over and they all have this drink on the beach. And then about 10 feet away is Mel with each of the women having sort of a alone time, which I thought was odd that they were so close. And then Carol's with the long blonde hair, and she had a great moment, I thought, with him, and a breakthrough is what seemed.
Yes. Carol built up a little bit more confidence. I could see that she felt a little bit more comfortable. You know, again, it's not that easy to be in front of a camera and be who you are. Sometimes, you feel a little bit like reserved, you're afraid, you're insecure.
Right.
But I think she broke through, and I believe she got the rose. Am I right?
She did. She did, because she told some story about her, being wild, and he really liked that, which was really great.
She's very attractive. I found her attractive. They kiss actually in that scene.
And she covered it.
She covered it. She's very shy.
I respect that.
She covered it, and
then
Mel was like laying down. I just don't think he's engaging. I just don't think he's a fun kind of guy. I mean, I would have loved to see a guy like Jordan as a Golden Bachelor.
Yeah.
He's got a personality. He's funny. He's witty. He would have been a lot of fun. Even Gerri, even Keith would have been fun.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of comments from this
it's
podcast.
funny because I was listening to some comment and they said, we don't have to have a good-looking guy successful. We would like to have an average accountant, a guy who is a factory worker being the bachelor. I think it'd be nice to take really a basic gentleman, and put him in there. But I just think that Mel doesn't fit the role.
They chose him. So now they have him, and it's like, what is it? You make your bed and you have to sleep in it. So here's where we are with things. I have to fix my shirt. So here's where we are with things. So then we go to, so this is what you were talking about. So Nicole had shared with the ladies that she was, wanted to be an influencer, and you just knew someone was going to say this person's not here for the right reasons. We talked a little bit about it last recap episode. So we have Robyn, who really hasn't had that much going on. She hasn't had that much camera time, let's say that way. Yeah. And she decides that she's going to be the one that goes and tells Mel that someone's not there. But she didn't say the name.
Yes.
And she said people. And to me, I knew it was the kiss of death. Was the kiss of death?
I just don't think anyone should go to someone and said and backstab someone.
Yes.
I think right there that was not her place to say it. Okay, she should have focused on her and Mel. than focusing on what the other people do.
That didn't happen your season, did it?
I mean, I don't remember. I don't remember.
Yeah,
but I mean, I'm surprised. And on top of it, Mel said, "Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so." I mean, if Mel doesn't see it,
right?
He's blind.
Yes.
I mean, you could see who is there. You could see who's aggressive. You could see who wants to be the lead.
Yeah.
You know, and her come up and said that to him was out of line.
Yeah.
And I know then she was going to be gone.
No, kiss. Yeah. I called it kiss of death. All right. Then we moved to the tailgate.
The tailgate, yeah.
And at the mansion.
Yeah.
Which I just want to say here as an aside, I'm feeling slightly claustrophobic in the show. I feel like they're not going anywhere. I don't know. I feel like they're always at the mansion or they're next door. I feel like but I understand that they're in, that's what they decided. There's not a lot of travel until I guess the hometowns, but I just feel like I'm sort of sick of seeing the mansion.
You know, the ten interesting is when Mel put out with the Bronco.
Yes.
Okay.
Product placement.
Yeah, but that is style. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That is style. You know, I will put up with a Ferrari. Okay. He put up with a Bronco. Okay? So that tell you a little bit. You know, the type of a difference of kind of guy. And then he's going to tailgate. And I think something very funny when he said I don't remember who he said that to, maybe Carol. Then he went to, they make him a pie. They make him a lemon pie.
Bars. The lemon bars, yes.
And he said, I love lemon bar. I went to culinary school.
Yes.
For cooking.
Yes,
and he
but
doesn't
he only
know the
did
difference
it for the
between
sauces.
Yeah, and he doesn't know the difference between black pepper and white pepper. But he went to culinary school.
Right.
Okay.
Well, but he said he just went for sauces.
Oh, when sauces. Okay, but sauces you need to spice.
I would agree.
You need spice in sauces.
I think you caught something there.
So
I don't know.
I'm being deep into the show. And I just thought that was funny, So.
I would agree. So then he's off with a couple of the ladies here as well. And like you said, Nicole gives him these lemon bars. She tried to create some drama around these lemon bars. And that's what I'm saying. I just felt contrived. Did she plan that whole thing that she was going to pretend that she was making them, but she wasn't, and then she gave them to him?
But she said she made it. She gave it to him and said, "I made the pie, the lemon pie."
But it just felt staged. But anyway, she does it. Here's what I found the most interesting, Pascal.
Yes.
Is that right as they're getting up from their chair, Mel and Nicole, he says, she's all about me, and I like that. So I was like,
Mel.
yes,
Yeah,
that's
Mel,
why,
Mel.
right? That's why you like her, and that's why she's going to go far. So, who else did he talk to? He talked to Cheryl, who said, so he had a couple of these one-on-ones. This is again before the rose ceremony, and Cheryl says to him, I'm a princess. You've made me a princess, and you're my prince.
you're my prince. And I mean, come on. I just, I'm in the dating scene, and, I date a lot, and, I just try to meet my person. And I never had a woman said, I'm a prince, and you're my princess. And, I just think that's I don't know. It's just, don't rub me in the right way,
Yeah, I'd like to help Cheryl out and just sort of say, I don't know that that's the right thing to say.
Yeah.
I think it just, I don't know, something about that. But I get it. She's feeling beautiful. She's feeling in it. I just don't know how men would sort of react to that. And you're saying I guess you're saying
I wouldn't. I mean,
how do men react?
I mean, I've been on a lot of dates.
Yes.
They never said I'm the prince and you're my princess. And
maybe someone should say it to you. Maybe
I don't know. Okay. Maybe I don't know.
Try it out, girls. Okay. So then we get to the rose ceremony and we say goodbye to Gerri, who he had said he had feelings for just a couple minutes before, and then Robyn and Roxanne.
Yes.
So those were not surprised. Those were not surprising. Were you surprised?
No, I was not surprised with the.
No, and they made it dramatic by having Nicole called last, but you knew she was going to be called.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So we're going to see next week. It wasn't. It just wasn't. There wasn't a lot. It was rushed, but yet no, like you said, content. So
it was. I told you earlier, I felt like it was more commercial than it was content. I felt like the show was rushed. I just think then again and again. I just think Mel needs to get his act together. Yeah. He's just too plain. He doesn't have any fire. He doesn't have any personality.
Yeah.
And a show
Tell
like that.
us how you really feel.
I mean, I'm telling you how I feel. I mean, again, I spent a lot of time with the guy when I was in the Bachelorette, and those guys were funny. I mean, we had laugh, and everybody when just have a good time.
Yes.
I just think then his plan is he needs. I mean, remember what he does for a living is a personal injury lawyer. It's a very serious business.
Yes.
Okay. He's not in the beauty industry
Right,
where you
where
joke
you're-
with everybody all day, or he's not in cell where he has to talk to people all day long. So I think maybe I'm hoping to see a better Mel in the next couple of weeks coming up. I think as soon as the pool gets smaller, we're going to see maybe more interact and being able to open up and tell us a little bit more about him.
Yes.
I don't want to hear about his football years because I'm not interested about that. I want to know who is the person, who is he, why did he get divorced, how does he feel about life, what is he looking in the next 5 years. That's what I want to hear.
We'll see. What did you notice his suit in the rose ceremony?
I mean, to be quite honest with you, they must have changed the wardrobe designer, but he seemed very uncomfortable in a suit. He's the kind of guy who looks good in sweatpants and T-shirt, which you see all the time. But as soon as you put him in a suit, he's always uncomfortable with.
It was like
with
a
his,
crushed velvet or
yeah,
something.
I just don't think that's his style. They're trying to make him look cool, but he doesn't have that edgy playboy type of look.
Yeah, I thought it was a good effort. I liked the change up a little bit of the clothes. I thought the ladies looked wonderful. So we're going to see next week. I think
next week.
Jesse wasn't. He came in for just the rose. He wasn't in the entire episode at all.
Was not.
So it's interesting. It's a little uneven, but that's it. So I think that's our. Those are all our hot takes.
That's a recap. That's it.
How about we talk a little bit? Again, we said this is our third recap episode together, and we're having a good time doing it. We really appreciate everyone who's been, watching or listening and especially commenting, as we've been having fun talking about those comments. And then I asked some some questions for you yesterday. So let's go through some comments and questions. Put you on the hot seat a little bit, and then
go ahead.
And then we'll go from there. So I think the first comment that we see a lot from people who are watching and listening to our podcast is this whole controversy about Mel and the ages of the women that he's dating. Pascal has a lot to say, but Pascal said the same thing.
You know what? I want to correct that, and I believe that I did that in
set the records.
Yeah, I want to set the record straight because I did that in couple podcasts. Because when I was interviewed in the end and asked me, "Would you consider being the Golden Bachelor?" and I said, "I will have to see what is entailed, what the times." But, I'm old, but I'm not going to go out with a 72-year-old woman. I mean, it's nothing wrong by saying that.
But that's older than you.
Yeah, exactly, older than me. I would like somebody who's my age, a little bit younger than me. So all of a sudden, my DM got bombarded. Oh, Pascal, a younger woman, Pascal. I think people don't know Pascal, okay? And that's what I try to set the record straight a couple times. I think to me, I want to age appropriate. A woman who's got my fire and my energy. She could be 65, she could be 68, she could be 58. It doesn't really matter at this point, but I don't go out with the 35 and the 40 and the 45.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. So I want to set the record straight to all the people who listen. The comment I made was not that I want to go out with the young woman. The comment I made, I want to go out with a woman who has my energy, my drive. And some women I've met who are 62, 63, 64 years old who have a lot of energy. But I think it'll be very interesting because I believe next week we have somebody very special who's going to be talking about the dating, and she's working for a very big agency, and you're going to hear from her mouth what is the difference between a 70-year-old man and a 70-year-old woman, what is the expectation? What is a 60-year-old man versus a 60-year-old woman? What's the expectation? We'll be very interesting show next week.
Yeah, I love that idea.
So I set the record straight.
Yeah.
I don't like the babies.
Right.
Okay?
I mean, what if you met someone, though, and, you don't ask their age the first thing, right?
But, when you see me, I went into an event one day, and there is a girl who comes up to me and say, "Oh, my girlfriend think you hot. I would like to fix you up with her." I said, "Okay." I said, where is she? She showed me that girl, gorgeous, beautiful. And I said, "How old she is?" She said 28 years old. I
What?
said, 28 years old. I said, I could be a grandfather,
Yes.
for Christ's sake.
Yes.
Okay, I could be a
Yes.
grandfather. So I said, no, I'm not interested. Sure, she like an older man. I said, it's not her, it's me.
Right.
You know, she said, I respect you for that.
Okay.
And the girl comes up to me and said, I've been through that. I said, you have a lot more to go through.
Yes.
I said, but I'm flattered and you think I'm interested in, but I think you need to find somebody more your
Okay.
age.
All right.
you
Well,
know,
that's
I said
good.
the raccourci.
Okay, good. I
Okay.
respect that.
Okay.
All right. I think you handled that then. And I think not the final word, but I think the important part too is just, again, if you were as the Golden Bachelor, you should be comfortable dating women that are within, the age range that is about what the Golden Bachelor is.
Yes, of course.
So that to me was really what the issue was with Mel's comments.
Yes.
That he was already chosen as the Golden Bachelor.
Yeah.
And then he was saying that he wanted women ages younger than what the Golden Bachelor age range is.
Yes.
So that to me seemed incongruous.
Yes.
Okay. So, all right. So questions.
Yes.
Okay. So what's the most important trait that you look for in a woman that you want to pursue?
Personality. I think it's very important for me. I want a woman who's got a very strong personality, a woman who could engage a conversation, a woman who could ask questions. That, I think, to me, personality is key 10 for me.
Okay. All right. Good. What is a non-negotiable for you in a relationship?
At my age, children. I just don't want any young kids. I want the kid who's to college or out of college, but I just think that, I've raised my children. I'm a free man. I could travel. I want somebody who's in the same level than me right now.
Yeah. So certainly not to have anymore, but even if you're dating someone who has younger children.
Yeah, I mean, younger
that might
children.
be a little bit
Yeah,
of
it'll be challenging. Yeah, I mean, I pay my dues. My kids are gone. They're on their own. And I just proud of them. But I want somebody who's in the same level. So mean is somebody who's a bit older than the 45 and the 50s.
Yes,
Okay.
right. Okay. Where do you meet women that you're dating? And where do you suggest other people is the best place to meet?
It's very difficult in our age because, I don't like to hang in bars and nightclubs, okay? So basically how you meet people is through friends, going casually with friends and going to events. There is a lot of mixer now, the different age mixer where you go and meet people. Friends fix you up with friends. I haven't been very successful of online dating. It didn't work for me.
Right.
But it's very difficult. And I think you'll see next week when we talk to that dating agency, April, she'll give you a little bit more insight. That's why people go and sign up and try to get an agent to find them a match because they have a network of people. But that's a challenge, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're not meeting anyone at the grocery store?
I mean, if I go to the grocery store and if it's someone who's
pumping
interesting
gas.
to me, I will go and talk to her. Hey, where do I buy my what kind of egg do I need to buy?
That's always a good one.
It's a good one,
I remember that was a big one. Or the health club.
The health club.
Yeah.
Health club, health club was years ago a very social place where you meet people. Not today, people we have less time, so they go there, they put their headset, they walk out. They don't want to be bothered.
Yes.
It's very, when a girl is in a treadmill, you don't want to talk to her. When a girl lifts in weight, you don't want to talk to her. So you got to have the right moment, the right place, and it's not really, the club is more for walking out and releasing your stress and your time alone, for me.
When I was single, I belonged to East Bank a million years ago and used to meet a lot of
East Bank Club used to be known as a dating
that.
place. I still belong in East Bank Club, believe it or not. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great place.
Yeah.
What's the wildest thing a woman has DM'd you that made you respond? So not just a wild thing, but something that maybe really caught your attention as to why you would respond. These are great questions, by the way. Thank you for people for asking.
Oh, this one is first of all, I don't respond my messenger.
Oh, you don't?
I
Okay.
don't. Once in a while, I may, if I find a woman interesting, age appropriate, but
what would they have to say to you to sort of make you respond?
I love you in the show. You're hot. You were my favorite.
Okay.
I would love to
adulation.
meet you. Are you willing to move? I'm willing to move. Again, the challenge of the Golden Bachelor is location.
Yes.
I think it's challenging our age, to be able to pop in a plane. We talked about that in the past. So, if you're ever in Dallas, I'd love to take you out for dinner.
Right.
I have a beautiful home in Palm Beach. Come and see me. And I don't really respond to those. When they're out of my state, it's like geographically undesirable.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, speaking of Chicago, another question that came in is, why do you think Chicago is such a great place to live, and is it good for dating?
I think Chicago is a cosmopolitan city. We have it all. We have a beautiful beachfront. Summer is incredible. We have art, we have culture, we have restaurants, we have theaters, we have fashion.
Come to Chicago.
Yeah, come to Chicago. Right. I mean, I think, to be honest with you, I've traveled pretty much all over the state. New York, to me, is great. Everybody loves New York. It's way too busy for me, way too dirty for me. I went to LA, it's way too spread apart for me. I went to Miami, it's way too hot for me. Okay? So Chicago is the right place.
Okay.
Actually, Chicago's been nominated a few years in a row to be the best city in the United States.
Yes, well, yeah. I love it. So, all right, good. All right, last question, and then we're going to get out of here, is what's the best part so far of co-hosting with me, this recap show?
It's fun because I enjoy, first of all,
And that wasn't from me, by the way. Someone actually asked.
I enjoy your company. I think we do a good match. We bounce each other well. Have a lot to say. I have a lot to say.
Yeah. You do have a lot to say.
And then I do have a lot to say. Sometimes they have to put the muffler. I got to stop talking. But no, it's fun. It's a fun experience for me. I enjoy that. I think, I could see our podcast growing and follow us on my hometown, guys. You know, it's a great show. We have a interesting conversation. But eventually, I want to move away from The Bachelor. We have a lot more subject to talk about. I think we've talked a little bit about what it is divorcing in the golden years. We'll have eventually a divorce attorney who's going to talk to us a little bit about divorce and the emotion drama. We have a couple of good things in the pipeline, and I'm excited to move forward and grow the podcast.
Great, me too. I think you've teased. I think you've done a good job of teasing our next week.
Yes.
And the next couple of weeks, and we have something really big planned for the finale.
Yes, but we're not going to say anything.
But we're not going to say anything there, but just stick with us. But we're having a lot of fun, and we've got a lot of, like we said, topics that are sort of, tangential to the show, but that are, I think, really relevant to this golden era and just dating in general. So this has been fun. We're going to close out, and we will see everyone next time.
But before we close out, follow us in my hometown, okay? Follow us in my hometown, and we would love to hear your comments, guys.
Yes, please.
Okay? Regardless what it is, good, bad, we want to hear really what you think of us, of our conversation.
I don't really want to hear what you think of
I
me.
I like to hear that because I think we always could get better.
Yes. All right. I'm just joking.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys.